Hey guys, welcome back to Ferrigno Freedom Channel. I'm Dante Ferrigno and I appreciate you being here once again. I just wanted to come share a few things with you this morning. You know, I'm still dealing with the issue of my wife being sick, so it's kind of slowed things down a little bit as far as getting out on my early morning walks, but you know what? I don't mind at all. I'm glad to be able to have the strength and have the desire to get up and do the things that need to be done to make it happen today. One of the things I've been doing is making sure we got plenty of good food, aside from getting the kids and my wife fed good breakfast this morning. I've got a pot full of top round here. Top round is usually a very lean meat that is tough, but when you cook it in the crock pot, it comes out wonderful. And one of the things that I like to do, especially when I have some extra trim fat, or sometimes when I have suet, I'll use suet too, because I love the way suet tastes, whether it's cooked in the crock pot or cooked in the air fryer in little chunks. Kind of depends on your desire for the texture of the fat. If you're not one that usually likes to eat a lot of fat, having it done in the crock pot might not be your way to go. Although to me, it's not much different than having a nice bite of really well cooked lobster. So I love it. But if you don't like that texture, cooking the suet in small little chunks in your air fryer, not too much at once because you can get a lot of smoke from that fat. But if you put a little bit in there, it comes out like little pieces of popcorn and it's wonderful. But I added some cut fat to this top round today so that I could add a little fat to it. And you can see that it is just filled almost completely with a liquid. And that liquid is all fat. I did not add any water to this, so it really allows the meat to get nice and moist, and it comes out tender and juicy when you eat it. Let's take a look at it real quick. So I take this piece of meat right here, and just using my tongs, it pulls right apart, and it's nice and juicy and cooked throughout. Take a little bit of this fat that's sitting on the side here, put it on my plate. And another thing you can do, if it helps a little bit, is to mix some of the fat with each bite of meat you get so that you don't get as much of the toughness that you get in that tougher meat, and it really adds to the juiciness and flavor. That's just one of the ways I like to make some of the cheaper cuts of meat when I buy a whole cow. I've been saving almost all the ribeye. On the first day I had one of the ribeyes, but I haven't had any ribeye since then because I want to go through all the lesser expensive cuts and then I'm going to enjoy the best part of the cow. But this way I can make full advantage of all the meat that's available. Using some Redmond smoke salt here to add a little bit of flavor. I use salt when I'm cooking it too. I take just the regular Redmond real salt and put the ground coarse salt into the pot. The problem is though, when you get all that liquid in there, it tends to absorb all of that salt up and you don't get much of that salt flavor, if you like the salt flavor, that is. I tend to overdo it on the salt sometimes, but I still love it, so I haven't had any problems with it. I don't mind. The salt's a great electrolyte anyway, because both sodium and chloride are electrolytes that are great for your system. And when we talk about things that are great for your system, one of the important things I like to point out too is I've been talking some recently about how I used to get sick very easily back in the day, back before I started doing Lion Diet. And somebody asked me not too long ago at the end of a long comment, they said, have you gotten sick in the past 2.5 years while on the Lion lifestyle? And I have to admit, yes, I have. In both cases, they were found to be COVID related. So I don't know, you take that for what you think it's worth. My wife has had several tests and she's had all the symptoms of COVID before, and it always comes back negative, back in 2020 and 21 and again this year. So whatever it is, I don't even know if I trust what they're telling me half the time anymore. All I know is that I don't get as sick as often. And the 2 times that I supposedly had COVID, I was able to get over it very quickly and not have a whole lot of lingering issues. There was a period there after one of them, and I talk about this in previous videos, that's why I like to revisit some of this information, is that I thought for a while I was suffering from long COVID, but I started to realize that it's either a mixture of that and something else, and that something else has a lot to do with getting the right amount of sleep. When you're getting the right sleep, it really sets you up very well to have your immune system functioning properly, and your whole body is going to be a whole lot healthier. You're not going to be as tired feeling. And since I've been working and doing the channel at the same time, and life is just jam-packed. I mean, I am far more productive now than I was prior to eating this way, but that means I'm burning a lot more energy, whether it's through, thinking, which you're using your mind takes up a lot of energy for your body as well. or it's out working in the yard, working on the job, getting the exercise I need to do, or just getting through life, taking kids here and there and doing the things that we do to get through life. Having the right food and the right sleep are two of the keys to having your body ready to deal with these things. And even though sickness has pervaded our house now for close to 3 weeks, I've, knock on wood, thankfully been able to stay away from it. And I really attest that to the fact that my immune system is a lot stronger than it used to be. Doesn't mean I won't get sick, but doesn't mean I can't get sick. So don't get the idea that I'm saying that this is a cure-all for everything, but it certainly sets you up to be in a much better position to prevent illness, to prevent the problems that pervade life and set us back, keep us from going to work and doing the things we need to do. If your body is healthy and you're eating the right things and you're getting the right sleep, all of those things just, they play such a huge role. And they're things that I neglected for a lot of my life. I wanted to stay up late and watch movies, and even when I didn't want to, I had to deal with insomniac issues that were caused by the diet I was having. And those things were causing digestive issues and inflammation and all kind of problems that I could have avoided had I been eating the right way and trying to get that right sleep. Some of us have a hard time getting that right sleep. You might be working a graveyard shift. I've done that since I've been on this way of eating, and that was really tough on my system. Or working a swing shift like I do, where I have to be at work very early some days and stay at work very late other days. And sometimes do both if you're working a double shift. That makes it hard to get the proper sleep. Proper sleep has to do with getting to bed at the same time every day and waking up close to the crack of dawn so that you can get that early morning sunlight, that light therapy that is so important for our brains to know where we are in the day. It really helps you to wake up and be ready to take on the day the right way. But not everybody has a situation that allows for those things. And I understand that because I'm suffering right along with you, having to work the jobs and deal with the family and all of the things that go with life. It can be tough sometimes. If you're able to get into a regular routine of some kind, it's obviously much better for you, but sometimes you got to do what it takes to get through. And having the right diet can still make that a whole lot easier than having the wrong diet. Because having the wrong diet certainly sets you up for failure. And that's obviously not where anybody wants to be. We want to be healthy, we want to be strong, we want to be able to do the things we need to do. Our bodies still want to do the things that are unproductive for us. Even I have to fight sometimes the urge to eat things that I know that aren't good for me, because I'll make justifications for it when I'm having a craving, or I feel like I'm just hungry and I don't want to wait for a piece of meat to cook, or maybe I don't even want to cook a piece of meat because it's a little bit more than I want to eat. So I'll eat some butter or I'll eat some cheese, knowing that I don't do well on dairy, but I justify it because it's an animal product. And we all are going to have those battles. We're all going to have those things that we're going to make mistakes on. But the more we say no to those things, the easier it's going to be in the long run. The one thing I can say for sure is if you just continue on going the way you're going, eating the standard American diet, eating all the processed garbage that's available to us out there, not paying attention to what's on the label, not looking for those ingredients that set you up for failure, like I talked about in the video the other day involving citric acid in the liquid eggs. I mean, you would assume that eating eggs is going to be fine even when I go out, but it just comes down to being vigilant on what you put into your body. Because the system that we have right now, the food system and the pharmaceutical system we have right now, really has us set up to fail. And we have to be able to make decisions that are going to be best for us in the long run. For me, that starts with eating the right foods. And it starts with making it yourself, because it's going to be the only way that you can really be careful about what you're putting in your body and set yourself up for success. I'm going to get out there and get that exercise today. Like I say, it's been hard for me to do it when I'm taking the kids to school and getting everything ready in the morning. So I understand those struggles, but we can still make it happen. What are you panting for, Bria? Did you move some logs? I'll tell you guys, after 4 hours in the yard of cutting and moving logs, it seems like you get very little done, but it feels like I got a lot done. As far as working my body and getting the sweat going and working these muscles, moving those logs, whew, I gotta tell you, I can't recommend anything for anybody in particular to be doing when it comes to lifting and things like that. All I can say is know your limitations. I sometimes push my limits, but I don't regret it. Even when I sometimes go a little too far. But today I didn't. I kept it within my bounds. I used my ingenuity. I used things like a timber hitch to help move these logs, tied it off to my bumper when it was too heavy for me to lift, and I was able to get the job done without getting hurt. But I got a lot of sun, a lot of sweat, and a lot of strength movement, and I'm making the yard look nice, which my wife likes. She wanted me to line these logs up against the edge of the driveway so it would kind of make it look nice. So that's what I'm working on. But hey, screw it. Get up and do it. That's all I can tell you. That's all I got for this one, guys. Just wanted to come share that with you and encourage you to start your day right today. I'll see you guys next time.
Still coming out.
I love it just as much as I did before.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?